Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher.
I mean, he is so cringy. He is so unbelievably cringy. He's just a big ball of cringe, Gavin Newsom. If you're a Democrat and the incentive structure is for you to say extreme things to get attention, you're going to keep saying more and more extreme things to get attention. And then there's going to be some unhinged people who look at what you are saying and take it absolutely literally, absolutely seriously, and then they go do things about it. So it is a bad thing when you have, for example, Democratic Representative John Larson of Connecticut comparing ICE to the Gestapo and saying to rise up. That is a problem.
This is a time for good trouble. This is a time for Americans to rise up. This is not Germany. That's the SS and the Gestapo. This is the United States of America. Unmask yourselves.
So, yeah, again, the Gestapo, I mean, if somebody does an act of violence against a member of ICE, well, based on the fact that you're saying that they're Gestapo and it's time to rise up, I mean, to pretend that there is no connection there is kind of crazy. Gavin Newsom is playing this game as well, the governor of California. He is so radically dishonest. So here he was at a Politico event the other day, suggesting that Donald Trump does not want another election, that he is legitimately a Hitlerian figure who's going to cancel all future elections and essentially take total power in the United States. First of all, if Gavin Newsom believed this as the governor of the largest and most populous state in the Union, economically largest, most populous state in America, then he would have a duty to probably lead an insurrection if he actually thought that that were real. He does not think that's real, of course. He does not believe that President Trump wants to cancel all future elections. It's ridiculous when people claim this sort of stuff. There will be an election in 2028, and then there will be one in 2032, and then there will be one in 2036. We can hope Gavin Newsom doesn't make it to the finish line in any of those elections. But there is a market for this sort of rhetoric on the Democratic left. Here is Gavin Newsom saying a lie. I mean, this is a lie.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second you want... I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
And you think he's going to run again?
No, don't give me. You don't. Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house? So this is serious, guys. This is serious.
So it'll be Newsom Trump in 28.
No. This guy doesn't believe in free, fair elections. He tried to wreck this country. What were you there? January 6th?
Okay, so notice that the audience itself is laughing at this, literally laughing out loud at Gavin Newsom. And he's pretending that he's serious about this, and the audience, because it's a Politico audience, so presumably they know something about politics, they're laughing. The host is laughing. Gavin Newsom's like, no, it's perfectly serious. There will never be another election if Donald Trump has his way. Okay, if you believe that, if you truly believe that Hitler is on the move, then you have a moral duty to stop it. This sort of ratcheting up is terrible for our constitutional republic. Truly a bad thing. Truly a bad thing. Now, do I think Gavin Newsom believes anything? Of course he doesn't. Gavin Newsom doesn't believe a single bit of this. Because you know what you don't do? You don't troll Hitler. That's not a thing that people generally do when they are worried about incipient Hitlerian fascism. But that's what Gavin Newsom is doing full time. Because again, he's just seeking attention. He's like a small child who's screaming in the other room and kicking his feet, desperately hoping for attention. Folks, you've heard me talk about Cove Pure before, and for good reason. It's because I believe that clean drinking water is one of the best investments you can make for your family's health. I even have a Cove Pure system to purify the water at the studio. Cove Pure makes our water taste amazing. No sketchy contaminants, just that pure, crisp water. Here's something you might not realize. When people take meds, their bodies don't absorb all of it. A lot of that stuff gets flushed right down the toilet. Water treatment plants are horrible at filtering out those leftover pharmaceuticals, things like antibiotics, antidepressants, even hormone disruptors from birth control pills. You don't want to be accidentally ingesting any of that stuff. Luckily, Cove Pure is lab certified to remove up to 99.9% of impurities, including pharmaceutical drugs. My wife's a doctor. We don't take risks when it comes to our health or the health of our children. Cove Pure makes it really easy. It sits on the countertop, so you don't have to get a plumber or a drill or anything. You just fill it up, you plug it in. Plus, my wife loves the tea. Cove Pure lets you select whatever temperature you want, hot or cold, with the tap of a button. Facts matter. Scientific research proves that tap water is not consistently safe anymore. If you take your family's health as seriously as I do, you should consider trying Cove Pure yourself. Make sure you use the link in my description box, covepure.com/Shapiro right now. For a limited time, you'll get $200 off Cove Pure plus a risk-free money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today. So yesterday, he released a video of himself doing a fake Trump conference, So he looked at President Trump. President Trump has these long pressers where all the members of the cabinet are there praising him and talking about how great he is. And Gavin Newsom decided that he was going to mock that and then talk about how crime rates in red states were really bad, neglecting, of course, the fact that the crime rates in red states, the ones that are bad, it tends to be because of blue-governed large cities in red states, like, say, New Orleans in Louisiana. But here's Gavin Newsom mocking President Trump. This is why I say I can't take him seriously when he says there won't be another election if Trump has his way. He doesn't believe that. He doesn't, no incipient dictator gets mocked this way.
If he is to invest in crime suppression, I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than California's. In Louisiana, this is Speaker Johnson, 4x higher. I'm just offering, again, you've not seen this on Fox News, so President may not be familiar with these facts. So I want to present some facts to the President of the United States, and imagine this is alarming to the President to learn these facts. Mississippi leads the nation as the #1 murder state in America. Imagine this in particular may resonate with the President of the United States. It's got a murder rate, it's 180%. 180% higher than Los Angeles. It's interesting. LA has more people. These are all per capita numbers. More people than Los Angeles. Perhaps the president could deploy the National Guard in every corner of Mississippi. And the fact remains, if the president is sincere about the issue of crime and violence, there's no question in my mind that he'll likely be sending the troops into Louisiana and Mississippi to address the unconscionable wave of violence that continues to plague those states.
I mean, he is so cringy. He is so unbelievably cringy. He's just a big ball of cringe, Gavin Newsom. By the way, it should be mentioned that the #1 murder city in Mississippi, just to take an example, is Jackson, Mississippi. The mayor of Jackson, Mississippi is John Horn, Democrat. In fact, I decided to ask my sponsors over at Comet, a new web browser by Perplexity, a question. Analyzing the top 10 highest crime major cities in red states, right? The red states would be Newsom's select group. Over the past 30 years, what percentage of that time have those cities been governed by Democratic mayors? Most of the top 10 highest crime major cities in red states have been governed by Democratic mayors for a significant majority of the past 30 years, often exceeding 80% of that period or more. This trend is clearest in cities such as Memphis, Tennessee, and St. Louis, Missouri, and is broadly consistent with other high-crime major cities in red states. The top 10 high-crime cities in red states commonly include Memphis, St. Louis, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Birmingham, Little Rock, Detroit, sometime included in red state analysis, Baltimore, disputed as to red-blue in terms of Maryland, Jackson, Mississippi, and Shreveport. Those cities are mostly in states that have voted Republican in recent presidential elections and consistently have among the highest murder and violent crime rates. And as it turns out, empirical pattern in major southern cities with the highest crime, Democratic mayors have typically governed for more than 80 to 90% of the last 3 decades. This pattern aligns with findings that among the 100 largest U.S. cities, the great majority, about 60 to 65%, are led by Democratic mayors. And nearly all of the largest cities in the South with high crime rates are included in this group. So blaming that on red states as opposed to blue mayors, that is a category error, but Newsom knows that, and he's making it on purpose. Well, that's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out all of the other great content on my channel. I'll see you here next time.